What's up, JimBallzzz? It's JimBallzzz back in another video with the final video recapping 2024 music. So we gotta go through the 20 worst albums of 2024 by me, JimBallzzz, and we gotta get our haterade. I'm drinking my haterade right now, so let's get our hater on. We'll start off with some dishonorable mentions. Gotta go with Drake with 100 gigs.
I can't get no 8 hours.
This was more of just an EP type thing, not really an album, but it's bad, so it deserves the mention. The first song with 21 Savage and Young Thug is actually pretty good, but the other two songs are just flipping horrible. The song with Lotto is just disgusting. It's gross. It's not good at all. Yeah, it's just Drake releasing just some really lame mid stuff, as always. And then I gotta give it to Mario Judah with Endure.
You painted that picture and you framed it all.
I mean, with a goofy ass looking album cover like this on the side here, of course it's not going to be good. You know, Mario Judah, he's definitely fallen off. He was a bit of a meme, kind of a bit more popular guy back during COVID. But yeah, now he's just super washed up, making pretty bad stuff. And it's just more the same for Mario Judah, and it's just not good at all. But as always, you know the standard rules. Each artist or band only appears once on this list, no repeats. And yeah, it's just the 20 worst albums of 2024. Starting at number 20, I gotta give it to Linkin Park with From Zero. And what's Linkin Park like in current year? Not too good. The production on this is just really mid, and it's really generic sounding production on this. The thing is, it's Linkin Park just trying to sound like really commercial, very pop sounding. Like Linkin Park sounds more like Imagine Dragons, current Imagine Dragons, than like Linkin Park back in like the 1990s or 2000s, right? It seems like they've just steered away from their old sound that is really good, and they're just making really commercial stuff that just sounds like Imagine Dragons. And yeah, it's not good stuff. A lot of people hate on the new girl singer or whatever from Linkin Park, but I think she's a decent vocalist. It's just mainly that the production and just the sounds of the song is just super commercial and really lame, and that's the real issue here. Number 19, I gotta give it to RXK Nephew with Mind Yo Flippin' Business.
Still on the hard, I dug up north and still trapping.
And I love Nephew. He's made some really great stuff in the past, but I've seen some comments saying that he's like, I don't know, an alcoholic or whatever, like, and maybe that's why he's just not making the best music anymore. This album is just mixed and mastered like butt, and a lot of these songs, a lot of these beats are just kind of generic sounding. Nephew is just not at his best rapping on these, and it's just a super lazy effort. It's just Nephew dropping some BS, basically, just not really caring too much about it, and it just doesn't sound good. Number 18, I gotta give it to YS, the Kanye and Dolla collab with Vultures 2.
I'm the bomb, 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 bomb. I'm the bomb.
And now Vultures 1 gets a lot of hate. I still liked it a little bit. There's some good moments on it. But with Vultures 2, this whole thing is just ass. And I think pretty much everyone agreed that Vultures 2 is some ass. And this is just super lazy. It's just Kanye dropping some BS, and he needs to get off the nitrous. I mean, whether it be just with some lazy AI moments or ruining previously great unreleased songs like Sky City, just ruining songs like that. Just there's really not anything good across this album on Vultures 2. It's just super lazy and just really embarrassing from Kanye. I mean, this is Kanye's worst album. This is his worst work right here. And I hope he gets off the nitrous and maybe gets his head clear. Number 17, we got Lyrical Lemonade with All Is Yellow.
Sorry for telling you I'm sorry.
And this album is just a weird compilation album with Lyrical Lemonade, you know, Cole Bennett, just with a bunch of random artists and rappers on this. We got like Eminem and Lil B and like Juice WRLD, etc. Lil Durk, just whoever, you know, just the popular rappers. It's just a compilation of just a bunch of random songs from popular rappers, basically. And this whole thing is just a disjointed mess. There are not really too many good songs on here. There's a lot of misses. It doesn't flow well at all. And there are terrible, terrible lows like Hello There. Hello there. Hi, editing JimBallzzz here. I did want to say that I really like that Blink-182 song. That song is really good, but hearing these SoundCloud rappers like sing over it and do like some emo raps over it, it does not work at all. It is pretty bad. It samples that, and that song is just awful. Hello There, I mean, that'd probably be on my worst songs of the year, but it came out in 2023, not 2024. So, and the only good feature on this is Lil B. Like, Lil B is the best thing on this album. Lil B in 2024 is the best thing on your album. Like, that's not good, bro. Number 16, I gotta give it to Kid Cudi with Insano, and this is just Kid Cudi being super boring, super lazy, just not trying at all. And this is just a super forgettable waste of time. And this song has an X feature in 2024. I don't know how they're still releasing new X stuff in the current year, 2024. Bro passed away like over half a decade ago. How are you still like dragging X's name? Like, what is going on here? But this album is just super boring, generic, just Kid Cudi not trying at all. And it's just really lame. Number 15, we got to give it to Juice WRLD with The Party Never Ends.
She earned it. She serving.
Rest in peace to Juice WRLD, but this album is just dragging Juice WRLD's name through the dirt, basically. It's just, this is super unnecessary. Pretty much all of Juice WRLD's best stuff was already dropped, already released. When you listen to this is just Juice WRLD F-sides. I mean, we talk about an album, there's like A-sides, like that's the best of the best. Then we got B-sides, like stuff that wasn't as good, maybe released as extra stuff. This is Juice WRLD's F-sides. This is just bottom of the barrel Juice WRLD stuff. Everything on this, every single song, you've already heard this before. You've already heard better Juice WRLD songs that sound exactly like the stuff on this. This is just some of Juice WRLD's most weak stuff, and they just decide to drop it as an album, and it's just kind of embarrassing. The features on this are bad. I was sort of thinking that like the best feature on this is Offset. Can you name any other album where the best feature is Offset? I mean, Offset's a solid guy. I mean, he's an all right rapper, but who goes to Offset for features thinking like, yeah, this guy's gonna give me the best feature? Like, I've never heard that before. I can't list another album where Offset's the best feature, and that's kind of embarrassing. And this album is also just overly long. It's just too long for no good reason at all. This is just a completely unnecessary album, and the only good song is Empty Out Your Pockets. I'll give it to Juice WRLD and their team. Empty Out Your Pockets, that's a great song, but the rest of these songs are not good. Number 14, I gotta go to Lil Uzi Vert with Eternal It Take Two.
You keep blast on, I ain't coming yet.
And please, Uzi, please get off the Galaxy gas. Whether it's Ye on the nitrous or Uzi Vert on the Galaxy gas, please get off these drugs, bro, please. It's making you drop terrible music, bro. And the beats on this are just super generic. There's not a memorable beat at all on this. And just all the memorable lyrics are bad. Like, I can't list you a single good lyric off this album. There's just tons of just bad lyrics. I mean, when I think of stuff like Perky Perky Sex, like that song is just extremely corny and lame. Outside of like maybe the first track or the first couple of tracks they're all right, they're listenable. The rest of this is just not good at all. Lil Uzi Vert, just super lazy stuff, just not really trying. They are just not trying. Number 13, I gotta give it to Jaydes with Count Up Dracula. Jaydes, whatever their name is. They have a lot of allegations, whatever, I'm not gonna get into that, but this album is just super terrible punk music. It's just a little SoundCloud rapper doing their best like punk music, influenced by Dead Kennedys or whatever, and it just does not work. Their vocals are terrible. Some really disturbing lyrics across this, which maybe if Jaydes didn't have the type of allegations he had, maybe these lyrics would not be as disturbing, but some of these lyrics compounded with the allegations he has, it's not a good look. And the vocals are really awful across this thing. It's just a really bad album. Number 12, I gotta give it to spaceghostpurpp with Black Storm. What's spaceghostpurpp like in 2024? Pretty ass. This album from spaceghostpurpp is just super lazy. It's just terribly mixed. These beats are terribly mixed. These vocals are terribly mixed. The vocals are terrible. It's just spaceghostpurpp freestyling on some like really mid beats while it's mixed super terribly. It's just super lazy. It is just some of spaceghostpurpp's worst work. I mean, spaceghostpurpp, when he tries, he can make some really good stuff, but he's deciding to just be super lazy and not try, and it results in really bad stuff. Number 11, I got Blue with ABC. And Blue, I mean, he's a respected rapper. I mean, he's made some alright stuff in the past, but this is just Blue making a beat tape. And if you know about Blue, he's not really the best producer, I'd say. Some of his best stuff is produced by stuff like Exile or produced by other people. Blue is not a well-known producer, but he decided to make a beat tape. And this just sounds like Baby's first beat tape. Just some guy making their first beat tape. It's not good. Please stick to rapping. It just sounds like it was made in one night. It sounds like Blue just got drunk one night, made a bunch of bullshit ass beats, and just released it as a mixtape. And yeah, as you expect, it's just not good. This is a terrible beat tape from Blue. Number 10, I gotta give it to Katy Perry with 143. And
Chippy, chippy, daddy, take me on a ride.
Katy Perry is back, and it's terrible. It's not good. Katy Perry should just retire. I mean, if you're gonna make this album, yeah, it's not worth it. This is just some really bad, outdated pop music. When you look at like Charlie XCX, I mean, some pop music, it's just kind of the meta right now. Pop music's kind of super popular. I mean, that's the name. Pop music is popular, right? But with Katy Perry, the styling on this album is just super outdated sounding. She is behind like 7 years. She is just behind. She's just stuck in like 2014 or something, like maybe even like over a decade ago. And outside the bad pop songs, there are some generic house songs as well. I don't know why Katy Perry's like singing over like some house type beats, but I guess that's where we're at. And it's just not a good album. And Katy Perry, you just need to retire. I mean, you made some fire stuff in the past, like Teenage Dream, like that still hits. That's still really good. But in the big old 2024, you make trash music. Just please retire, bro. At number 9, I gotta give it to The Death of Slim Shady by Eminem.
Cancel me, yeah. Gen Z me, bro.
And I will say I'm not the biggest Eminem fan. Even some of his older stuff, it's not some of my favorite stuff. I will not say Eminem's the greatest rapper of all time. I will never say that ever. I'll never believe that. But The Death of Slim Shady, this is just Eminem being corny, rapping about cancel culture. And Tom MacDonald was rapping about this 5 years ago, okay? If Tom MacDonald rapping about cancel culture was corny 5 years ago, why would you think about rapping about it in the current year would not be corny? Like, I don't get why people even like this album even a little bit. Like, this is just Eminem being corny, rapping about cancel culture. Like, you like that? What's enjoyable about that? The only good songs on this are the singles. Houdini's solid. What is it? Like Toby with, what is it? Baby Tron and Big Sean. Like, those songs, they're decent, all right? Those songs are decent. But the rest of the songs on this album are trash. Bro needs some new beats, okay? We got 20-year-old sounding beats on this. You need some fresher beats. I don't know if you've heard, like, what is it, the DJS remix of, what is it, Toby? The DJS remix of Toby actually sounds great. Like, let me pull this up.
The dream as a kid I would grow to be one. I hope that I inspire hope for you to go get what you desire most.
Spitfire, bitch, I was just flying coach. Like that DJS remix, I won't lie, that's kind of fire. I think if Eminem hopped on some better beats, some more fresher sounding beats, it'd be a lot better, because Eminem beats, the beats he's rapping on currently, it's just old man ass beats. These beats are old, tired as flip. Please get some better beats and rap on it, because you got a decent flow, Eminem. You got a decent flow. It's just your lyrics are really corny and lame, and your beats are just super outdated. And that's the main issue I have with this. As well as being obsessed with Caitlyn Jenner. There are just countless Caitlyn Jenner references, bars, just all across this thing. It gets old quickly. I remember seeing like a clip of like Eminem talking to like Lil Wayne or whatever from years ago, talking about like, I look up my own lyrics to make sure I haven't said the same thing before. Like, then why are you rapping about the same bar? You got the same jokes about Caitlyn Jenner over and over and over again. What happened to like those unique bars or whatever? Like, bruh. And this album is just a 50-year-old rage baiting. It's just kind of embarrassing. You're 50 years old. Why are you trying to rage bait and make people mad? Like, you're not 20 years old. You're not Slim Shady anymore. Yeah, stop trying to rage bait people. It's kind of embarrassing. Number 8, we got MGK and Trippie Redd, genre Sad Boy.
I picked up the phone, now I'm finna dial you.
And this album is just 6 years too late. Like, when you talk about emo rap as a genre, when you talk about guys like Juice WRLD and X, like, those guys have been passed away. The whole scene is just kind of dead. Why are you making this like genre sad boy emo rap stuff in 2024? This album maybe would have been the meta like 6 years ago, but this is just way too late, and just every song's bad, and just it's just corny. I don't know why you're trying to make this I'm sad, I'm a sad boy, like basically like half a decade too late. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish with this album. It's just kind of embarrassing. as well as Trippie Redd. Like, why are you collabing with MGK? Trippie Redd is like one of the biggest what if stories in hip hop, in my opinion, because he's extremely talented. He can make some really great music, but he decides to be either super lazy and drop some really bad albums himself, or collab with guys like MGK. Like, you can collab with so many great artists. Why are you deciding to collab with MGK and make some really trash stuff? Like, I don't get it. As well as this song has a JID feature, okay? I'm gonna go off on JID right now because these 3 albums, the Katy Perry, the Eminem, and this genre Sad Boy, all 3 of these albums have a JID feature, okay? JID, what are you doing getting features on some of the worst albums of the year? Like, are you that desperate for money? Are you chasing the bag that hard that you just need to rap on these super awful albums? Like, what are you doing, bro? I haven't seen too many people point this out. I might be the only one, but like, why is JID rapping on these? Bro, do you not have any self-respect? I really think JID is just really overrated, and just him deciding to rap on these terrible ass albums, just it kind of furthers it, you know, as well as like the song with Imagine Dragons. Like, why is he hopping those features on these terrible albums, bro? Number 7, we got Speaker Knockerz with The GOAT. And this is just really embarrassing album here for Speaker Knockerz camp. Just rest in peace, Speaker Knockerz. But we got some really bad beats just dropped as like an album. And it's just a cash grab. They're just trying to milk money off of Speaker Knockerz' death, and it's just really embarrassing. Number 6, we got Lil Mabu with Young Genius.
Cause he fuck with snitches and I don't like kids.
And it's just Lil Mabu is just really unfunny and lame shtick. How he's like a white boy, but he's got ops and he's drilling in New York or whatever. Like, it's just really lame. It's not funny, and just no one cares about Lil Mabu anymore. Like, at the beginning of 2024, I saw Lil Mabu just everywhere. He was kind of unavoidable. But now, a year later, I haven't seen anyone talk about Lil Mabu at all. Like, he fell off so fast. Like, he was one of the most popular rappers beginning of 2024. Now, beginning of 2025, no one cares about him anymore. Bro just disappeared. He's gone. No one cares. He was just kind of the new 6ix9ine, called himself like the king of New York or whatever. And he's just like some troll kid just making some really aggressive music, just not who he really says he is. And yeah, that's kind of what he was. Yeah, he's awful, and kind of no one cares about him anymore anyway. Number 5, we got Onision with Forbidden Frequencies. And
despite the perfection I perceived, he sees inadequacy.
Yeah, it's Onision. He's terrible. And this album is just extremely boring mostly. It's not like it's really offensively bad. There are some terrible lowlights, I will admit that, but a lot of this is just really boring and unnoteworthy, and a lot of this is just really generic loops. A lot of like stock plugins, stock loops or whatever, just slapped on a beat with Onision either singing really terribly or with like some AI voice talking over it. I mean, the AI voice features on the song just talking, it literally sounds better than Onision singing. And like, if that's the truth, then like, bro, your singing is awful, Onision. If I'd rather listen to like some AI voice singing, like, bro, yeah, this is just, it's not good. It's not good for Onision. Number 4, we got Lil Dicky with Penis.
You're definitely gonna get raped. Raped dead? If I were you, I'd learn to fight.
The Dave soundtrack. That's right. We got like a 40-year-old man we got a 40-year-old man releasing an album called Penis. That's where we're at. And this album is just over an hour of unfunny BS and with some terrible beats. I mean, you're Lil Dicky. You're like one of the most popular rappers, honestly. You got Benny Blanco to produce a lot of these stuff. Like, you could make any beat you want to. You have like all the money in the world, like all the production in the world, but you decide to hop on some really lame sounding beats, really terrible beats, really generic beats. Like, I don't know what the point of this is. And the worst songs are just beyond terrible. And we talked about The Morning After and the 20 worst songs. But yeah, it's about like a whole song about how the condom fell off during sex. There's another song about how he goes to jail because he like flashed his balls at a concert. He flashed his balls at a concert. So now he goes to jail, and then the whole song is about how he doesn't want to get raped in jail. Like, an entire song about that. It's like 10-minute long song. Like, what is this BS, Lil Dicky? What is this? It's super unfunny. It's super lame. Like I said, maybe in the context of the show, maybe these songs are more funny and more listenable, but just listening to this album without the context of the show is just awful. Number 3, I gotta give it to Dax with A Man's Perspective.
Spend my life with you, I didn't know what it would cost.
Oh, this is a man's perspective. And from a man's perspective, this album is trash. This album is just super lame and corny and pandering. Like, this is country rap for senile boomers. Like, if you go in the comments section of, like, any of Dax's songs, you can, like, read stuff like, I'm a 70-year-old man, and this is the first rap song I've ever loved. Big ups to Dax. He's representing real man. This is hip-hop for people who hate hip-hop. It is just awful. It's super pandering stuff. And yeah, it's just not good. It's really corny. Number 2, I gotta give it to acidgvrl with You Stupid Pink Girl. And acidgvrl is kind of the combo of Sewer Slut and Demon Dice. If you don't know them, Sewer Slut is just like some drum and bass producer with like some anime girl stylings aesthetic on like some of the samples, I guess, and like some of the album covers, just an anime girl. And Demon Dice, which is, if you don't know Demon Dice, they're like some like VTuber who makes some like really terrible rap music, and it's just combining like some drum and bass production with like some awful singing from like some VTuber girl. That is what acidgvrl is getting at here, and it's just terrible. And the thing is, a few of the beats that are okay. A few of the beats are listenable, at least. Some of the beats are really awful, but some of them are okay. But acidgvrl might be the worst rapper I've ever heard. Imagine some white British girl who loves anime rapping. That is who is rapping on these beats. These are terrible rapping, terrible songs. Every song is just like a chorus where it repeats the same sentence over and over and over and over, and that's the whole song. And yeah, it's just awful. acidgvrl is terrible. But the worst album of the year, it has to be Tom MacDonald and Nova Rockafeller.
Just give me half what I paid.
And the thing is, this album, Wild Ones, I didn't put the album title there at the top, but yeah, it's called Wild Ones. You can see it in the album cover. But Wild Ones, this might be the worst album I've ever heard. And I've heard a lot of albums. I didn't go through like all the worst albums. I don't like torture myself that often, but this album might be the worst album I've ever heard, legitimately. There's just terrible rapping, terrible singing. You know how terrible Tom MacDonald is. Nova Rockafeller is like his girlfriend or whatever, and Nova stinks. She's an even worse rapper than he is. Her singing is awful as well. And like I said, this might be the worst album I've heard, and they're super insecure of hate on this. They mentioned like the haters over and over and over again, how like the haters don't bother us, but you mention them over and over on your album. They must bug you at least a little bit to mention them this often. They mentioned how like, I'm a millionaire. Ha, you haters don't have money like us. Like money would make up for how terrible your music is. Like, bro, it doesn't matter. Like I said, with the Dax thing, there's just terrible like country rap moments on this, and it's hip hop for people who hate hip hop. It's hip hop for conservatives like Ben Shapiro, who'd say like hip hop isn't actually music. Ben Shapiro's literally said that before. This is what the type of music they're making this for, bro. So yeah, it is just terrible. Tom MacDonald, yeah, you definitely are worthy of worst album of the year. So thank you so much for watching. This has been JimBallzzz, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.